25 years. That's how long the AFL final system stood untouched. And in one announcement, everything we knew about September just changed forever. G'day Swans fans, if you love this club like I do, you need to hear this. Hit that subscribe button because what I'm about to tell you affects every single one of us who bleeds red and white. The AFL just dropped the biggest bombshell in finals football since the year 2000. Starting in 2026, there's a new way into September, and it's called the Wild Card Finals Round. Here's what it means. The top 6 teams go straight through to finals with a week off. But 7th to 10th, they fight it out for the last 2 spots. 7th plays 10th, 8th plays 9th, win or go home. One weekend, everything on the line. For a club like Sydney, a team that's tasted premiership glory and heartbreaking defeats, this changes the entire equation of what it means to make finals. Because now, finishing 10th doesn't mean your season's over. It means you get one more shot. But to understand why this matters so much to us, we need to go back to where this all started. Let's set the scene. It's 2024, and the race for finals is absolutely brutal. We're talking about one of the tightest finishes in AFL history. The Western Bulldogs finished 9th with a 14-9 record. The best season for a team outside the 8 we've ever seen. Think about that, 14 wins, and they're watching September from home. That's when the conversation started. Behind closed doors at AFL House, they're looking at the numbers. They're seeing engaged fans, massive television audiences, and clubs desperate for one more chance. They're looking at what the NBA did in 2020 with their play-in tournament, what the NBL adopted right after. And they're thinking, why not us? Andrew Dillon, the AFL CEO, he's been in conversations with clubs for months, testing the waters, gauging reactions. And here's what most people don't realise. The clubs loved it. He said it himself on Monday morning. I've got plenty of good feedback from the clubs overnight. Now let's talk about what this would have looked like if it was in place this year. Picture this, 7th placed Gold Coast hosting the Sydney Swans at 10th, our boys, flying north for a do-or-die elimination game. And in the other matchup, Hawthorn taking on the Western Bulldogs, 2 absolute powerhouses going head-to-head just to keep their season alive. The atmosphere around footy leading into this announcement has been electric. Fans have been screaming for more meaningful games, more drama, more of those heart-stopping moments where everything hangs in the balance. And the AFL, for once, they listened. But there's always been this question lurking in the background. Does this reward mediocrity? Are we just giving participation trophies to teams that couldn't cut it over 23 rounds? Or is this about creating genuine opportunity and hope? Monday morning, the announcement drops. And suddenly, everything changes. The 8-team final system, the one that we've known since 2000, is gone, done, finished. After a quarter of a century, the AFL has completely reimagined September. Here's the moment that redefines it all. Andrew Dillon stands in front of the media and says something that cuts right to the heart of it. Our fans love finals games. We think it provides opportunities and hope for our fans. Opportunities and hope. Those 2 words matter more than you might think. Because for a team like Sydney, finishing 10th this year meant nothing. The season was over. But under this new system, 10th place means you're 1 game away from a finals campaign, 1 performance away from keeping the dream alive. Think about the pressure, 7th versus 10th. You're the team that scraped into that wildcard spot, and now you're flying interstate, walking into a hostile crowd, knowing that if you can pull off the upset, you're in. You're playing finals football. The home and away season suddenly doesn't define you anymore. What would you have done if you were in charge? Would you have kept tradition intact, or would you have taken the gamble on creating something new? And here's where it gets fascinating. The structure they've created actually matters. 1st and 2nd still get a home final. That's massive. 3rd and 4th keep the double chance. 5th and 6th get the week off. But 7th and 8th, they host a wild card game. There's genuine incentive to climb the ladder. It's not just about making the 8. It's about where you finish. Dillon pushed back hard on the mediocrity argument. He said it makes that gap between 6th and 7th something clubs will strive for. And he's right. The difference between 6th and 7th just became enormous. One gets you a week's rest and a guaranteed final spot. The other throws you into sudden death. This is the moment the AFL went all in on drama, on emotion, on giving fans exactly what they've been asking for, more games that matter. The announcement hit social media like a lightning strike. Swan supporters were split right down the middle. Some were pumped. This is what footy needs, they're saying. More big games, more chances for the boys. Others were sceptical, worried about burnout, concerned about whether finishing 10th should ever give you a path to a premiership. The media went into overdrive. Analysts started running the numbers immediately. If this was in place in 2024, they pointed out, we'd have been flying to Gold Coast for an elimination game. How would our season have played out differently? Would the pressure have been too much? Or would the boys have risen to the occasion? Inside AFL circles, the response from clubs has been overwhelmingly positive, and that's significant because clubs don't usually agree on anything. But this they can get behind. More revenue from an extra finals game, more hope for their supporters, more engagement across the entire season because suddenly finishing 10th isn't a death sentence.
You can feel the shift happening in real time. Coaches are already planning for this. Less managers are thinking about how depth matters even more now. Because if you finish 7th and host that wildcard game, you need to be firing on all cylinders. No excuses, no second chances. For Sydney specifically, this changes our entire approach to list management and season strategy. We've been a consistently strong team, but we've also had years where we've scraped into the 8 or just missed out. Under this system, those marginal seasons become opportunities instead of disappointments. The human element here is enormous. Think about a player on the fringe of the 8, knowing they've got one more game, one more shot to prove themselves on the biggest stage. You could see it on Dylan's face during the press conference. He genuinely believes this is going to create unforgettable moments. Let's connect this to the bigger picture, because this isn't just about one new round of footy. This is about the AFL fundamentally changing how we experience September. Remember 2014, when Sydney made that miraculous finals run after barely scraping into 8th? Under this system, if we'd have finished 9th or 10th, we'd have had a wildcard game. One more chance to get hot at the right time. One more opportunity to create history. The consequences for the season are massive. Every game in the second half of the year suddenly carries more weight, because it's not just about making the 8 anymore, it's about where you finish. The gap between 6th and 7th could be the difference between a week off and a sudden death game. The gap between 8th and 11th could be the difference between hosting a wildcard final and watching from home. For player careers, this is enormous. Think about the veteran in his last season. Under the old system, if his team finished 9th, that's it, career over. But now, he gets one more game, one more chance to play finals footy and chase that elusive premiership. What happens next is where it gets really interesting. The AFL has locked this in for 2026. That gives clubs 2 full seasons to prepare. 2 years to build lists with this system in mind. 2 years for coaches to strategise about whether it's worth risking fitness late in the season to secure 6th place instead of 7th. We've seen this before in other sports. The NBA's play-in tournament created some of the most electric basketball we've seen in years. The NBL adopted it, and the fans went crazy for it. Now it's our turn. The AFL is betting that we want more drama, more consequence, more of those heart-in-your-throat moments that make September special. And here's the thing, they're probably right. At the end of the day, footy's about hope. It's about believing that no matter how tough the season has been, there's always a chance. That's what makes us love this game. That's what makes us Swans supporters through the highs and the crushing lows. This wildcard round, it's not perfect, nothing ever is, but it's about giving us more of what we crave. More meaningful games, more September drama, more reasons to believe. And in a year where we finished 10th, knowing we would have had one more shot, that's something special. The game is evolving, and we're here for every second of it. Let me know in the comments, are you pumped for the wildcard round, or do you think the AFL got this one wrong? Hit that like button if you're backing the Swans no matter how the system changes, and I'll see you in the next one. Swans forever.